The NBA Finals, Game 5 of the NBA Finals just happened, and here's my reaction to the whole thing. I'm going to break it down. I'm going to tell you exactly what worked, what didn't work, what should happen moving forward for both teams, and my predictions for the rest of the series. Now, obviously, as you know, there's only one more game left. One more. And this game was a very pivotal game for whoever was going to win it. And fortunately, it was the Thunder. I've said this multiple times before. I am a Indiana Pacers hater. Now, I did predict in my last video that the Pacers were going to win this game. And I stand by that. Why? Because the Thunder just don't play as hard as the Pacers do. And honestly, this was the first game that I saw the Thunder play hard from the beginning all the way to the end. They had the third quarter where they were kind of starting to, you know, get lazy and start playing a little bit softer than usual. And I was like, this is becoming a problem. But they turned up and they closed out the fourth quarter with toughness, with grit, with defense. And this is exactly how I expected the Thunder to come in playing in game one, game two, game three, game four. And unfortunately, it wasn't always there, but it was there when it mattered the most. And this game, the way it started and even the way it ended, it had a game one type of feel, game one vibes throughout this whole game. The first quarter, the Thunder forced 7 turnovers. If you remember the first quarter of game one, the Thunder forced 9 turnovers. It looked so similar, which is why no matter how happy I wanted to get for the Thunder, I personally knew in the back of my mind that it is not too late for Indiana to make a run. And they proved it. The end of the third quarter, TJ McConnell is a real problem. He is a difference maker for this entire team. And honestly, he's been a difference maker for the entire series. He had 13 points in the third quarter alone. He ended the game with 18. 13 of them came within the last 3 minutes of the third quarter. He went on a run by himself. He pushed the Pacers within like 6 points, 7 points. And then Pascal Siakam, to open up the fourth quarter the way that he did, after last game, game four, he only took one shot in the fourth quarter, was phenomenal. I was actually scared, and you can tell why it is so important for Siakam to score the ball, to take shots, to play through him in the fourth quarter. The Pacers went on a run, and they brought it back to 2. And honestly, if it wasn't for Halliburton having his worst game of the NBA playoffs, probably his worst game of the entire season, they would have probably been able to pull this off. That 2 points, if Halliburton was able to get a couple of shots off his floater, they would have won this game. And this is a thing that's scary. I'm sitting here talking about this was the best game we've gotten from the Thunder. I haven't even gotten to the Thunder and their stats and what they did correctly, and also what they did wrong as well, that they should clean up for game 6 if they want to close this out. In Indiana especially, I'm still on the Pacers. And I'm telling you right now, with the Thunder playing their best game yet, with the Pacers, in my opinion, playing their worst game yet, and Halliburton having his worst game of the NBA playoffs, they almost won it. They almost won the game. If it wasn't for J-Dub's heroic night, where he dropped 40 points on 56% shooting, where he was determined to get to the basket, he was downhill on every possession, they would have won this game. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander looked like the co-star tonight. And honestly, that is not a problem to me. If I am Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, if I am the Oklahoma City Thunder, I am happy, I am delightful, I am excited, I am proud that I have J-Dub on my team, and he was able to go out there and be the number one guy for the night. because they were not going to let Shea drop 40, 50 points tonight. That 31 looked so hard to get. Every shot he took to get that 31 point, it looked hard to get. It looked like he had to make tough shots over people. And that's really what he had to do. Mind you, J Dub, straight to the basket. Hit a couple of threes. But for the most part, he was determined to get to the basket by any means necessary, any means possible. Chet Holmgren was honestly the one player that was scaring me. The whole time I was telling myself, if the Pacers come back and win this, it will be single-handedly his fault. His defense was good. I'll say that. It was good. He had, I think it was the end of the second quarter, where his defense was phenomenal. But his offense this game was not there. His rebound awareness, his rebound security was not there. It wasn't. And it just felt like every time they threw him the ball in the paint or he had a three-point shot, he missed it. It felt like he was having one of his worst games. And the thing with Chet Holmgren is when he's having a good game, it's amazing. When he's having a bad game, it's terrible. It sucks. He damn near can sell you a game. He can throw a whole game by himself. Now, let's really get into the Thunder. Let's break down what happened. What happened really was their defense was amazing this game. This looked like game one if the Thunder never relaxed. If the Thunder never felt secure in the fourth quarter in game one, this is how it would have turned out. Now, I know Halliburton was injured, but Halliburton did end up coming back. He played 34 minutes. He was running, and honestly, his leg did not seem to be affecting him. So, how much of an excuse can we use with that? I don't know. But what I could tell you is that Thunder defense showed exactly what it's made of tonight. Exactly what it was made of. Isaiah Hardenstein, I said it in my last video, is we're going to need you to do something this game. And he did. 4 assists. His rebound, he was the most aggressive rebounder on the Thunder. He secured boards. He was there. He was the only player I felt like was getting up for boards after free throw attempts. I feel like the rest of the team was not doing that. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander had like 3 or 4 blocks. One of them they called a foul, but I'm going to still give it to him. 3 or 4 blocks, like 2 steals. Wallace had 4 steals in 18 minutes. Good threes. He hit a couple of good threes. And then the dunk, the transition dunk. That's another thing about the Thunder. Now, this is a negative. When they get turnovers and they force him, they don't capitalize. They need to find a way to capitalize off their turnovers. Because if you're forcing 20 turnovers, you should not be up by 10, 12, 13 points. You should be up by 20 plus. They don't do that. They get a turnover and they try to slow it down. I liked at the end, Shai get a turnover. If he gets a steal, he forces a turnover. Straight to the basket. Wallace, same thing. That's better. And I know sometimes you can't do that. And you have to slow down. But slow down with aggression. And they had some careless turnovers. Like the Pacers challenged something. You get the possession, you get the ball in the fourth quarter. They inbound it, and immediately the turnover has led to a Siakam dunk. TJ McConnell had, again, those moments where he steals the ball off the inbound. Right after they take it out the basket, he stole it. That's a problem. And then Aaron Wiggins, oh my God. Honestly, he was probably the heart of this game. Now, J-Dub was the MVP. But Aaron Wiggins, with his 4 or 5 threes, was definitely a big part of this game. Knocked down some clutch free throws at the end. Shea not only had 31 points, but he had 10 assists. One of them was a clutch assist to Lou Dort for a three at the end of the game, and he made it. And I like this Thunder team. I promise you I do. But they just been scaring me ever since we entered the NBA Finals. They're not playing like themselves. And I know I've said it this whole time. Whoever wins Game 5 or whoever wins this series is going to win it in 6. But I can never count Indiana out. There was 3 minutes and 23 seconds left in the game. They were down by like 15 points, and I still couldn't count them out. Even if they're down by 8 points with a minute left, I still cannot count them out. And that's the problem. Because now, I still think Indiana's going to win Game 6. I think Halliburton's going to come out very aggressive. McConnell's going to come out very aggressive. Those threes that weren't falling for Obi Toppin tonight will fall next game. Neesmith, Nembhard, they're going to go crazy next game. Siakam, they figured it out now. They know he's going to score all throughout the game, and in that fourth quarter, you're going to give him the ball again. And he's going to score. They know. Because this is the best game yet from the Thunder. And the Pacers came back within 2 and almost won it. There's no way they're panicking. The only reason why they would be panicking is because they're facing a closeout situation, an elimination game. And the Thunder are hungry. They smell blood. They smell that championship. J-Dub, I said it for the longest. He needs to have a game. One of those games. In the last 3 games, he's been phenomenal. And this game, this was his game. He rose up to the occasion. This was the biggest game of his career. And he performed and showed out and gave us the best performance of his career. Now, with that being said, I think the Pacers, if they win Game 6, they're winning it in 7. If the Thunder can come out and play better than this in Game 6, because you're going to have to play better than this, the Pacers will be ultra aggressive, super aggressive in Game 6. If you can do that, if you could withstand that, you could win an NBA championship on Thursday night. But I'll give you my real prediction on that in my next video tomorrow. But anyways, thanks so much for watching the video. Like, comment, subscribe, and share. This is Real Talk with E. Safe.